Morning, everybody. Rusty from the Rusty Razor. Got another shave today. Today we're going to be doing a sample of Stirling's Gatlinburg. Very nice. It's got that woody scent. Got a kind of a smoky woody scent. You know, it's like does definitely kind of remind me of late or early fall, somewhere in there, with all the scent coming across. I'm just like, very nice. I think they still have this in a tub, so I have to go check. This might be one I get as a tub. Yeah, very nice scent. And he's like, it's getting a little thin, but I was like, what is it? Was it Dan? I think it was Dan asked me, how do I keep my samples from looking all tore up and disgusting looking? It's real simple. It's called a spatula. Like, I just go in there when it's laying flat on the counter, just go just kind of scrape across the top, and I take the whole backside. I'll just cut off the back, and then I just like scrape some off. So that's how I do it. I scrape everything. It's like OCD does not allow me to go take scoops out of stuff. It's just like my OCD just goes, can't do it. Needn't be prudent at this juncture. Okay, well, it's back. Yes, it's new. It's like the second one of these I've gotten with some winter blades, second use. And the whole thing that's going on here is that the last time I used this is that the head it's like the blade was like, the head's like this and the blade was like that. It was like manufacturing defect, major one. And I'm still looking at it, and it's slightly off kilter a bit still, but not as bad as the previous one. But I can tell it's not quite bad as the other one. It's like still in there, little angled. But I got a hold of the Amazon who I bought it through, and I said, hey, it's defective. And they said, sure, go ahead, talk to somebody typing. And they said, here's your mailing address, return it free of charge, and we'll send you a new one. It's like I put it in the mail, in the box, and a couple days later, this showed up that they delivered it, and I'm like, oh, okay, all right, a new one. So no, I'm kind of happy. Amazon went pretty quick. I was chatting with Sid because I sent him a message about it, and he was like, you are lucky. It's like, I can't even get Amazon here. And I was like, well, a lot of times it only takes a day. It's like, you put the order in the morning, and the next day you get it, because we have a warehouse. Because we're here in Des Moines. We are at the crossroads between I-35 and I-80. So they put a hub in here because they can service a large area just by driving down the interstate system. Because we were right at the crossroads. And the warehouse is just right 4 or 5 miles away. Something like that. Just up the road. In Bondurant. Heck, I used to ride my bike up that direction all the time. It's not my street bike, but my bicycle. Because we have bike trails everywhere. Until somebody stole it. I used to ride my bike all the time, and then in 2020, when the derecho hit, my shed got crushed, and I went and took everything out of the shed and tore the sheds down, everything under tarps, and we got a homeless camp over here, and they just came in and took everything. They just went in and took whatever they wanted, and that was the bikes. I haven't gotten a new one since because, geez, I went into, it's like, okay, I need a new bike. Go in to buy a new one, and they're like, we don't have bikes. What do you mean you don't have bikes? Like, we haven't had bikes since this whole pandemic thing. We just can't get them. I'm like, oh. Okay. So I hadn't replaced it. The wife had probably, it's like, Why are you spending money on a bike? You got a bike. Oh, I got a different bike. And one of the kids had bikes too, and stored them all here and there. Everything was gone. The only thing they left us was all the car parts from my '69 Cougar. Geez, who wants old car parts? And my lawnmower. They left me my lawnmower, nice of them, and the gas cans. When you're in a homeless camp, I guess you don't need a lawnmower. Yeah, this razor's working good. I like it. Feels just like the other one, which is this one. Good. Got two of them now. Fancy. So, there we go. Problem solved. Yeah, this is kind of like on the scale between, you got it's more like an Edwin Jagger razor versus the, yeah, it's more like an Edwin Jagger. It's a little more aggressive than King C. Gillette. And for $16, hey, what's not to like, you know? Get a nice looking razor that seems to work. Get it off Amazon. I'm not sure, they don't have any of the data on gap width or anything like that, but let's just say if you use a King C. Gillette and you think it's a little too mild, this might be a step up for hardly any money. That's all I can say. Well worth to me it's worth the money. You go through and start looking at different kinds of razors, and seems a bit ridiculous to spend $100, $200 on a razor and you're not even sure if it's going to work for you, if it's going to be a piece of crap or not. Yeah, that thing, the first time I bought it, was a piece of crap. Just plain and simple. But I don't feel so... Now, if I couldn't return it or replace it, it's like, $16. You know, it's like, heck, you go to McDonald's now. My wife and I went to... what the heck, Burger King. $20-some for two of us. That's like, oh my God, $20-something for two meals. I'm like, oh man, like the whole concept of eating out. So for the price of one meal at a fast food joint now, you can buy a razor. Not bad. Inflation. And I had to, this is like yesterday, I went to Wally World, aka Walmart. We call it Wally World. And our skillet, kitchen skillet that we use for cooking everything, those non-stick pans. And I made eggs and bacon. It's like for well, we like breakfast for dinner sometimes. Yeah, we'll make pancakes for dinner. We'll make eggs and bacon for dinner, or eggs and sausage, or a breakfast skillet for dinner with eggs. Like, who says? Where is it a written rule that you can't have breakfast for dinner? I like breakfast. Okay, I'm a breakfast guy. And the old joke goes around: is this second breakfast or third breakfast? We're hobbits. I'm sorry. And if you haven't watched the Lord of the Rings movies, in the first movie, I don't think he's heard of a second breakfast. Well, around here, second breakfast is important. But I was making the eggs, and then non-stick pan is basically stick pan now. And I went to flip my eggs and they're stuck and yolks break. And I'm like, I gotta do it's like, you said that the last time you made eggs. I'm like, yeah, but now I really need to. So I went and got a new skillet. And I'm looking, like the last time I replaced this thing was like, 2016, somewhere in there. So I've had it for at least 6-7 years, somewhere there. And it was like $20 for a skillet. It was like, yeah, no big deal. I walk in there and I look on the shelf and I was like, $75 for a freaking skillet? Holy God. And I looked at it now at $50. Whew, yeah. Stuff is expensive. Like, my God. You can hear that blade working. Yeah, I had sticker shock. I was like, oh man. It's like I came home and handed the receipt to my wife, and she is like, like, how much was that? I was like, I got the cheap one. And she's like, oh my God. And I'm like, yeah. Yeah, it's like you can't even afford to step out the door of your house anymore to buy anything. Probably should have just ordered it off Amazon. But then again, it might have been the same price as Amazon. I don't know. But I was like, I want it now. I need it for dinner. I used it last night. And the family has this one meal that they really like. There's a few meals that my family really likes. And one of them is like, you take 2 cans of pork and beans, drain them. Basically 2 cups. We pre-cook all of our hamburger. I'll get a 5-pound tube of 85% hamburger, and I'll cook it all up in the pan, get all the grease out of it, and then I take it and put it in Ziploc bags of 2 cups in each Ziploc bag. So basically 2 cups of hamburger. Hey, it's a cooking show now. All right. And take 1 can of like Campbell's tomato soup. Dash of Heinz ketchup for some tanginess to it. And some Italian seasoning. A little bit of garlic powder. Not garlic salt, but garlic powder. I don't put salt in anything. Everything nowadays seems to be salted highly. And then I think that's everything in there. Oh, hot sauce. Yeah, Louisiana hot sauce. Got a little bit of bite to it. It is actually Louisiana, so hot sauce isn't all that hot. It just gives a nice little temp to it. And combine that all together in a big pan, and then heat it up, cook it up, kind of render it down a little bit, get some of it so it's going to like thick, and then you serve it. And it's usually the family likes green beans with it. I like to take like French cut green beans and just put it over top and just stir it all together, and then I'll then you take a couple slices of wheat bread and put a little bit of butter on it and kind of fold it, and then you kind of scoop everything up and around it, you know. And that was a meal. It's one of the family. I was talking to my dietitian, and she was like, well, what'd you have for dinner last night? I described that meal, and she was like, well, actually, that's pretty good for you. I was like, yeah. Because the beans are, you know, when you're diabetic, you got to look at things that are good for you, and there's like not a lot of calories in it, and the calories you do get are from the beans, and a lot of them are complex carbs to begin with, so it takes a while for them to digest. So it's kind of like slow trickle your system. That's how I look at a lot of my meals. A lot of meals is have a salad, you know, like with some, you know, tomatoes and a little bit of cheese and olives and carrots and stuff like that over top of it. So a little bit of roughage. Not that lettuce has much nutritional value. It just fills you up quickly. So you don't eat a lot to begin with. I'm missing a spot right there. There we got it. And it's like smooth. Nice and smooth. These winter blades are working good. Nice combo between this Krisp razor. I like it. I like the other Krisp razor I got. The only thing I gotta say about the Krisp, now that I know about it, is like sometimes it could be a lottery of getting a bad one. Maybe I got that 1 in 1,000 that is off. It's Friday. I want to go home. I don't want to be here at the factory making razors. And that one just happened to be put in just slightly wrong. And I got it. Hey, it could be 1 in 10,000. I don't know. This one works good. I remember way back in the day, it was like my dad when I bought my first car, and he says, well, I hope that car wasn't built on Friday, because a lot of people are not happy to work on Friday. Like, they just want to go, or on Monday for that matter. Get your Tuesday through Thursday car. I remember as a kid, my dad was looking at buying a new truck. This has been about 73, somewhere in there. And we were on, I think it was a Chevy lot. And we were looking at Chevy trucks, and we were going to leave, and it was just my dad and I, and this guy goes pulling out with his new Chevy truck off the lot, and one of the wheels goes, just falls off, and we're like, okay. And I was like, my dad just kind of looked over and watched it, and the wheels like dunk 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 going down the street, and he was like, well, I don't think I'm gonna be buying a Chevy. I was like, okay. I'm like, man. Somebody in the shop that was working on it either did put a pin, like a cotter pin or something, and the whole wheel just falls off. I've had that happen to me though. I had a wheel bearing in the back end of my car go out. So I had a 88 Mercury Tracer. Took it to the shop. They replaced the bearings on it. And I was like driving back from the dealership, and we have a little kind of a country road area that heading towards where we lived at the time in the apartment. And all of a sudden the whole car goes, I hear this, ding. The whole back end just goes kind of down a little bit, and I'm watching my wheel going boom, 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 boom. I'm like, well, son of a bitch. I was like, yeah. So I got a tow truck, and we towed it right back to where they worked on it, and they go, oh, what's wrong? The bloody wheel fell off. And then they go, oh. So they had the damage to it was that they had to replace the rear part of the axle and everything. So, yeah, your maintenance is only good sometimes as your mechanic. So when I watched a wheel fall off a truck, yeah, it can happen. I know from personal experience. Oh, yeah. Well, actually, a decent shave with this thing. I think we're done. Yeah, we're done. One last little feel around. Never be afraid. If you like a nice smooth shave, never be afraid to check your face out. Feel where you might have missed spot. Because for me, it drives me crazy. I'll be like, the rest of the day, I'm like, oh, there's been times when I miss a spot, and then I'll just like come back and you have to redo a little bit. Man, it smells good. I think Gatlinburg is supposed to, it's like Ozark Mountain is supposed to represent the pine forest of the Ozarks with a little bit of loamy scent. This one is Gatlinburg. You get kind of a smokiness to it. It's kind of similar aspects, but you do, it's hard to describe. It's kind of a smoky, loamy forest scent. I forgot to tell you what this is. Well, you probably will read it. Where is it? Is it Orland? There we go. Orland. It's a, I don't think, have I ever used this on the channel? I don't know. It's sort of similar. This is a little more, it's hard to describe this one. It has a wee bit of kind of a woody scent to it, but in some part it's kind of floral also, but it seems to made up sort of well with it. But Orland is not my go-to. Let's just put it that way. My go-to is like Wild Country or Thai Winds. Those are two favorites of mine. All right, so where to go? There it is. Shave of the day was brought to you by Stirling Gatlinburg. Nice little sample. Smells good. Oh, I'm smelling kind of a leaf kind of scent. That's what the scent we're getting right now because the leaves are falling off the trees. You get that kind of a dry leafy scent. Come across. All right, so and then we had the Krisp razor, reborn, and with the second use of the winter blades. Nice smooth shave. Man, it is nice. It is smooth. For me, worked really good. I have no complaints at all. All right. So that is the shave of the day. Hope you guys like it. Like and subscribe. Share with your friends. And we'll see you in the next one. Rusty out.